Well, while we're waiting for that last pesky prairie dog to stick his head up, let's just talk about the hidden dangers when you're out predator or varmint hunting like I am today. You may not have thought about it, but there are a lot of dangers out and about that just might strike you if you're not paying attention. What's one of the first? It's right above us, the ultraviolet rays from the sun. Now this year, about 80,000 of us are going to get melanoma, a type of cancer. And out of those 80,000, could be close to 10,000 of us die. And what's the age group? Well, it's when you're in the prime of your life. In your 20s, for the most part, are the people that are affected. So how do you stop it? Well, of course, wear a good sunscreen. 100 plus SPF, that's what I'm wearing. 50 plus, that's a great range to start at. And you might not be a cowboy. Sometimes I cowboy up, but when I'm out in the sun, I always cowboy up with a wide-brimmed hat. What's another danger out here you may overlook? Well, it's crawling around out here. Ticks. You could get bitten by a black-legged tick and get Lyme disease. It's the 6th most nationally notifiable disease across the whole country. It's mainly from the upper Midwest over to the northeast corner of the United States, but you just never know. So again, spray yourself down really good so you don't have any of those insects crawling on you and giving you a few flu-like symptom. Now what's another thing you need to look at when you're out here? Well, snake bites. Rattlesnakes, copperheads, water moccasins, they all can bite you. And each year, about 8,000 people are bitten by snakes. Now those 8,000, there's only about a dozen fatalities. But do you want to be the start of fatality number 1 in your state? I don't think so. That's why I carry a snake bite kit. Now, you can believe in these or not, but I've done them and used them with insect bites, this extractor type system, and it greatly reduces the inflammation on the bite area. Will it work with a snake bite? I don't want to test it right now. But if you don't have something like this, just stay calm. Have your buddy get you to a hospital and medical attention as soon as possible. Well, I got to do some packing for another hunt, and this prairie dog, he's not sticking his head up. So let's go talk about a couple more hidden dangers out there when you're predator or varmint hunting. Well, as I was walking up here from the prairie dog hunt, I remembered one more hidden threat out there you shouldn't do. And that is, when you shoot a prairie dog, don't do any trophy shots. It's not a white-tailed buck, and you could risk catching bubonic plague. I know it's remote, but why risk it? Now, I'm getting ready to go on a longer trip here. So what am I going to do? Well, I want to make sure I've got everything in the vehicle to get me out of a pinch if something happens. I've got my Ram full of fuel. That's important criteria number 1. Never go into a remote country without a full fuel tank. The other thing is, I've got lots of tools with me. I got an axe, cut brush if I need to, a shovel to dig me out of a hole, chains, more tow ropes if I get stuck, and a jack so someone can help me out. Tools if something happens mechanically. I'm not a real good handyman, but I can tighten a bolt here and there if the battery comes loose. The most important thing right here, a cell phone. Now you might be remote, but nowadays with a little bit of hiking and getting to a high spot, you're almost guaranteed you'll find reception somewhere, unless you're in a real wilderness area, and if that's the case, your truck probably isn't close nearby anyway. And lastly, here's one more hidden remote danger you might not have thought about. With today's spread of really big predators. I'm talking bears and mountain lions, and they're all across the country anymore in varying densities. You could be out calling coyotes, red fox, or bobcats and unknowingly call in Mr. Big. So be on the lookout. Always have a good view all the way around you. It might not be 360 degrees, but at least have 180 plus degrees that you can see. So if a big critter comes in, you'll know it's coming. And have your partner back you up if you can. and be looking in both directions. That way, if a big cat or a mountain lion does stalk you, then you'll have eyes on it before it pounces. And lastly, if you're just calling coyotes, throw in a coyote vocalization. Cats and bears don't really want to mess with coyotes. So if they hear a coyote first and then some prey in distress, odds are they'll probably look the other way instead of risking a fight. All of these are dangers and threats that you could run into. I'm not saying you're going to, but they're out there. They may not be as much of a threat as the farmer's daughter story, and if that's your case, you're in big trouble anyway. But being prepared goes a long ways on your next predator or varmint hunt.